The waves weren't that big, but he was only 7, so even the smallest of chop towered over his drenched head. Never turn your back on the ocean was advice he would never hear. Instead, he faced the shore, proudly gesticulating. His father was busy, drinking a sweating can of domestic beer and complaining to his group of friends about the lack of waterfront zoning laws. His mother was busy looking at the stretch marks drifting across her once flat, smooth stomach. So neither noticed their son waving and smiling at them in the Atlantic Ocean, just 30 feet ahead. At the moment, he was going to give up on making eye contact with his parents and turn toward the blue-on-blue horizon. A crest crumbled and slapped him in the back, pitching him forward, face down, forcing him to take a big gulp of warm, salty water. He coughed. A new wave jostled him before he could regain his natural rhythm of breath, and then another. So panic started to set in. A panic with flailing arms, jerking legs, and lungs fighting against themselves, taking turns both hyperventilating and coughing. Soon, all his composure was lost. It seemed like the ocean knew he was in trouble and was happy to take advantage, toying with his 54-pound frame. The rest was easy. Too easy, really. I was a breaker away, watching it all, holding my head high above the water, my neck straining a little so I could see him struggle in the undulating foam. My first instinct was to help him. I was a strong swimmer. I could paddle over and prop him up and call out to an adult to get him safely to shore. Then a second instinct kicked in, if there can be such a thing as a second instinct. A calm resolve filled my chest, followed by a burst of gold glitter excitement that traveled to the tip of every limb. I dove under the water, eyes open. The sting felt good, a reminder that I was alive. The ocean was murky, so it was hard to make out details, but I was able to see enough to grab on to one of the boy's slick, thrashing ankles. My hand was too small to get a good hold. He was only 7 years old, yes, but I was only 5. Using both my tiny hands, I had just enough grip to pull him down and hold him down. A calmer boy might have held his breath and kicked free. He was only inches from oxygen, but he wasn't calm. He was sucking in more and more water, until he wasn't. When I felt his leg go slack, I held on for 10 more seconds, just to make sure, counting slowly backward, like I learned in school, like I did when I couldn't fall asleep at night because my brain was swirling with too many high-voltage thoughts to power down for the day. When I reached the count of 1, I let go of his ankle and swam away, flipping my back legs together in unison, like a mermaid tail. I wasn't so different from other 5-year-old girls. I, too, loved mermaids. When my own need for air became unbearable, I finally popped my head up a good distance from him. I searched the water until I saw his lifeless form being pushed closer to the shore, gently swaying with the seaweed. The ocean delivered him onto the sand, not wanting to play with a dead toy. I didn't even need to scream. His mother was already doing that. Adults raced to him, rushed and frantic, unwilling to accept that time was no longer a factor. My mother started shrieking for me to come back in, worried that drowning was somehow contagious. As I splashed to shore, I thought about how primitive adults were sometimes, and predictable. All the swimming kids were plucked back to land, held tightly in oversized, once bright, tropical patterned towels, now faded from years of use in the sun. For a brief moment, parents and children alike were not taking anything for granted.